What's up, YouTube? My name is Byrdman770, and welcome to another Outriders video. Today, we're talking about the most recent patch that happened here on May 25th, 2021. Obviously, I gotta say that on the off chance it's like 2058 and you're going back through the archives of my amazing career through here. We're going to be discussing that and also kind of talking about some end game content for the game and where I think people need to kind of focus in their expectations for the game and what is something that is relevant to kind of talk about and what stuff isn't as relevant to talk about. But before we get into that, I want you all to know I'm more likely streaming right now over at twitch.tv/Byrdman778. I start every single day starting at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. We have some streams where we start at 6:30 p.m. At night. Just depends on my own schedule, but we're always on at 10 a.m. So make sure you're stopping on by twitch.tv/Byrdman778. Make sure you're subbing over here on the YouTube channel if you're enjoying the content. We are exploding with growth over here, so any love is always appreciated. Make sure you're stopping by my Twitter, twitter.com/Byrdman778. Let's get on the video. So a quick rundown of the patch notes themselves. First off, patch notes fixed a bug that was causing armor values to be not be calculated properly under certain circumstances. The players to take unintended increased damage. This has been part of that huge damage mitigation issue in the game. This is now fixed. You should be feeling a lot better when you're going into those CT. I would say like 12 to 14s. You notice I don't mention 15. That's going to be kind of something we're going to talk about here a little later part of the end game explanation part. But before we get into that, let's also talk about the rest of the patch notes. Change the damage behavior of broodmother enemies to prevent them from one-hitting and killing players in under certain circumstances. That has been an issue. I had a stream this most recent week where I got 2 games in a row back-to-back, one slapped by brood moms, and instantly just turned off the game, was like, I'm done, I'm good for now. But now that should be fixed. And actually, I've tested it. It is quite fixed, so that's good to have. Address an issue that caused players to be unable to sign in under circumstances. Added telemetry to better track and diagnose any outstanding sign-in issues. Fixes for crashes and other minor bug fixes. And then we have some other stuff going on down here. Important note, there is a known outstanding issue. Damage block stat on an expedition results screen can occasionally appear inconsistent or abnormally low. This appears to be a purely cosmetic issue with the result summary screen not issue the damage mitigation overall in the gameplay. So some of those stats you're going to get at the end might not be completely correct. That'll probably be something that they're going to be constantly working on to make sure you're getting the proper stats once you finish an expedition. I'm also planning on kicking off an update known investigate issue thread later this week, so please keep an eye on that. In the meantime, please do use this thread to report any outstanding issues that you continue to encounter in after the game installing patch on the 25th. I will make sure to include consistent issues affecting multiple players in the follow-up news update this week. In particular, I would be keen to hear whether you continue to encounter any mods, skills, or gear items consistently not working as intended. This has been a huge issue that I've noticed for a couple different weapons as well as some skill nodes, especially for Devastator. Blood donation is not working as intended, so that would be the biggest one I would want fixed. So before I was kind of talking about how we need to have a little bit of end game explanation. I think this is something people aren't realizing is so important in this game, is to one, look at context clues that they clearly give us here on the screen. I did not notice this until the homies Psychotic Wolf and King Radiant brought it up. But whenever you select T15, there's this line bar up here that says this content is designed for groups. Now, if you swap down to T14, T13, all those other ones, that does not happen. It's only for T15. We had a lot of people coming in the stream being like, my build doesn't work. It's not able to do T15 solo gold and do all this other stuff. Getting really upset and frustrated. And they end up like kind of pushing that towards the developers, essentially associating that it's their fault in some way, shape, and form. When in reality, they give us the context clues right up front. With this, I think we all kind of do need to hinder our expectations a little bit for what should be expected versus what is kind of just the reality. Not every single build, not every single thing that you do in this game is going to be able to solo CT15 gold every piece of content. They absolutely make it apparent to us right here that that is not always going to be possible. I think the community as a whole and anybody who's like on Reddit or something like that, obviously that you're not gonna be able to please everybody, you know, but I think kind of hindering those expectations, kind of focusing in on, okay, there's going to be a certain point where certain gear, certain playstyles is going to be the mid-max only thing that you're able to do for certain CT15s. And I think that's just going to go on as the game exists. You know, the content is going to get harder with DLCs, with stuff added on. So being able to kind of come to that conclusion that, okay, not everything is meant to do the hardest content available doesn't mean it's a bad thing. It shows that it will require you to kind of min-max yourself out a little bit. Then this comes down to like people doing like carries and stuff in CT15s. That's when you kind of notice it's a lot easier sometimes for those random builds that you make to work then. Not even the cutest chihuahua is able to do every CT15 gold piece of gear. And that's not a patch's fault. That's not the developer's fault. It's just the game itself, you know? Guys, thank you so much for stopping by this video. I hope you were able to enjoy kind of getting this information about the patch, knowing damage mitigation is fixed, and also kind of coming to the conclusion of the fact that not everything in the game is going to be able to be CT15 goldable. Kind of getting that context clue that the content is not designed for groups. Understanding that is kind of important, again, for the fact that it's going to make it a little bit easier for you to realize, okay, I need to just do this type of build to be able to do this content. Not this build probably won't be able to do this content. Not everything is meant to be CT15able. So I think we'll kind of realize that over time as well. But until the next video, I hope you all have a great night, day, whatever it may be. Make sure you check out my YouTube channel, youtube.com/Byrdman778. Leave a thumbs up in the video if you like this information. Check out my Twitch, twitch.tv/Byrdman778. And then Twitter, twitter.com/Byrdman778. I'll check y'all later.